What is a guerrilla? By Ernesto Che Guevara. The guerrilla is a liberation fighter par excellence, elected of the people, vanguard combatant in their struggle for liberation. Guerrilla warfare is not, as often thought, a small-scale war, a war conducted by a minority grouping against a powerful army. No, guerrilla warfare is war by the entire people against the reigning oppression. The guerrilla movement is their armed vanguard. The guerrilla army comprises all the people of a region or a country. That is the reason for its strength and for its eventual victory over whatever power tries to crush it. That is, the base and grounding of the guerrilla is the people. One cannot imagine small armed groups, no matter how mobile and familiar with the terrain, surviving the organized persecution of a well-equipped army without this powerful assistance. The test is that all bandits, all brigand gangs, eventually succumb to the central power, and one must bear in mind that for the inhabitants of a region these bandits often represent a liberation struggle, though the sheerest caricature of one. Each member of the guerrilla army, the people's army par excellence, must embody the qualities of the best of the world's soldiers. The army must observe strict discipline. The fact that the formalities of orthodox military life do not correspond to the guerrilla movement, the fact that there is no heel-clicking or snappy saluting, no kowtowing explanations to superior officers, does not, by any stretch of the imagination, mean that there is no discipline. Guerrilla discipline is within the individual, born of his profound conviction, of the need to obey his superior, not only so as to maintain the effectiveness of the armed group of which he is a part, but also to defend his own life. Any slight carelessness by a soldier in a regular army is controlled by his nearest comrade. In guerrilla warfare, in which each soldier is a unit within himself, an error is fatal. No one can be careless. No one can commit even the smallest slip, as his life and those of his comrades are at stake. This informal discipline is often not apparent. For the uninformed, the regular soldier, with a whole complex system for showing recognition of superior officers, seems far more disciplined than a guerrilla, any guerrilla, following his chief's instructions with simple and stirring respect. Moreover, the Liberation Army is a pure army with no room for even the smallest of man's weaknesses. It has no repressive apparatus, no intelligence service to prevent individuals from falling victim to temptation. Self-control is the operative force. Rigid awareness of duty and discipline. Besides being a disciplined soldier, the guerrilla is very agile, physically and mentally. One cannot conceive of static guerrilla warfare. Night is the setting. Depending on his knowledge of the terrain, the guerrilla moves at night, takes position, attacks the enemy and withdraws. That does not mean that he must withdraw very far from the theater of operations, only that the withdrawal must be swift. The enemy will immediately concentrate all its repressive forces at the point attacked. It will begin aerial bombardment, send in tactical units to surround the area, send in soldiers to take up a delusive position. The guerrillas need only present a front to the enemy. By withdrawing a short distance, waiting for the enemy, attacking and withdrawing again, they have accomplished their specific mission. Thus, the army can be exhausted over a period of hours or even days. The people's soldier attacks from ambush at the propitious moment. There are other basic axioms in guerrilla tactics. Knowledge of the terrain is a must. The guerrilla must be familiar with the place of attack, and he must also know all the paths of retreat as well as all means of access and those that are closed, the homes of those who are friends or enemies, the safest places, those where a wounded comrade may be hidden, those where a temporary camp may be set up. In other words, he must know the theater of operations like the palm of his hand. And this is possible because the people, the great nucleus of the guerrilla army, are behind each action. The inhabitants of an area are porters, informants, nurses, the source of new recruits. In short, they constitute the highly important assistants of their armed vanguard. But in view of all these things, in view of the guerrilla's myriad tactical needs, one may ask, why fight? The resounding answer is, the guerrilla is a social reformer. The guerrilla takes up weapons as the wrathful protest of the people against their oppressors. The guerrilla fights to change the social system that subjects his unarmed brothers to opprobrium and poverty. He acts against the special conditions of the establishment at a given moment. And he is determined to smash the establishment's patterns, with all the force that circumstances permit.